I think the easiest way to do something is to get up and do it. I know it sounds like that quote from Kim Kardashian where she says, just get your work, get your ass up and work, something like that, which sounds very condescending towards people who have struggles that she doesn't know about. And I know a lot of people talk about having a clue what people are going through, but like I'm saying with no judgment. It is true that we have different backgrounds. Some people are privileged, but the point remains: just because you are underprivileged doesn't make it like life is not going to include you. Life is not inclusive. You can demand people to be inclusive for you, but it's not always going to work. And it isn't to say that it's okay. It isn't to say that we shouldn't fight injustices, but we should work towards it. At the end of the day, it's still your life. Like, you're either going to make it through injustices or you're not going to make it through injustices. And I've always hated motivation stuff because I'm really not motivated by anything. It always sounds very stupid to me because, like, I know the struggles. I know that imagining something, visualizing something just doesn't really help because it's just too dreamy for me. It's just so non realistic for me. And the feeling isn't enough, anyways. It just doesn't do anything to me. Like they say, visualize yourself having passed that exam, visualize yourself working in this position, but it's just never worked for me. And the best things I've ever gotten, I never really visualized them. I just worked, and my motivation was, what if? Let's see what happens. And that's just what works the best. And the moment I find myself wondering what the easiest way to get something done, and if there is a shortcut to something, I know that I'm not serious, and I'm like, yeah, I start berating myself over it because I know that I'm like, I'm not taking it seriously enough to achieve it. And whenever I find myself complaining about not having achieved a great result, I always, like, automatically this question comes to my mind, as opposed to working how much, despite what. And I always compare it, like put it against what I could have done. And I know it sounds like perfectionism. It sounds very toxic. It sounds like it's kind of damaging, but it works. It works. Like, I don't think it's that bad to hurt your mental, like hurt your brain a little bit to get what you want, because you're gonna be better if you get it. Like, we fuck ourselves up for things that don't even matter, that only steal from us. Like, why not do it a little bit for things that are actually good for us, things that we actually want, things that will pay off in the future? Why not? Like, you screw yourself over with some guy, why not do it for an exam? Like, really. People think, because people's priorities really say a lot about them, and it just annoys me when people complain, because we have so many options a lot of the times. Like, when people complain about getting a low grade, man, you just didn't study enough. Like, a lot of the times people just don't study that hard, because usually it's just not that bad. It's just not that bad. Like, you wanted it easy and it wasn't easy. Sometimes there are injustices again, but it's not always. And like, no matter how much injustices you have to go through, if you are hardworking, if you put your mind to something and work really hard and like be serious, you're serious about what you want, you get it anyway. One way or another, you get it anyway. That's something you always notice when you observe a person. That's always what I look for in somebody. Like, it doesn't determine people's value for me. I never think about people's value, but I think it makes them interesting when people want something. It's like it doesn't matter how unimportant it looks to others. What matters is that they care, and that's all. And we have this proverb that's my favorite. It says, "Your intention is your destination." So I think you kind of keep making decisions without realizing it. I don't want to sound like a cheap life coach, but that's kind of what it does. Anyways, I think finally the whole conversation is actually just feelings and actions put against each other. I did great this month. I had a lot on my plate this month and I did great. Everything worked super well, but I'm not excited. I was excited a month ago when I was picturing all this and I thought I was just gonna feel like I'm over the clouds and I felt nothing. It was nothing, but I still achieved it. So I should have done the work of like happiness, the feelings a little differently. I should have managed it differently. And I guess I had my share before I did the thing. Um so maybe some people just are fine with the visualizing part and not the actual results. So that's why everyone is obsessed with manifestation, things like that. So when you constantly keep thinking about the good stuff, it just feels good, which is the ultimate goal for doing anything. It's just that I think we've kind of lost the touch with reality. So things don't necessarily have to be true for us to believe in it. It's like we no longer have to actually achieve the thing, actually do the thing to get the happy feeling. So basically, that's what the late stage spirituality and manifestation and a psychology tricks did for us. I think we kind of need to leave it behind because at the end of the day, you kind of wake up one day and you've got nothing you actually wanted, or at some point you gave up on wanting those things. At the end of the day, that's how I finished every conversation. Does it really matter? Does anything matter? Why do I have to think about things mattering? What's the point of anything? Why do I exist? Why am I filming this video? We've gotten a little too lazy and too comfortable giving up on making ourselves happy in the long term, that we're just focusing on making ourselves feel better just for now, just for today, and we kind of maintain the underlying feeling of disappointment and kind of resentment towards ourselves and life. But there are things in life, like, I think the only exception is when you are really depressed or some really bad things happen to you. For example, you were stranded on streets, you had to go through literal war and things like that. It's not to invalidate, but uh, if you do have the motivation, if you are able to want something and things are able to happen for you, you are supposed to make it happen. Like, that's just common sense. And you stop a little too often, and that's your decision, which is also common sense. Why would you deny that? Why are we making it look so complicated? And why do we need to get told things that you can think for yourself? What you like, what you want, and reach for it. why don't you reach for things? Why do you keep yourself in that state of disappointment and low self-esteem? I have very low self-esteem. I don't like to admit it. Um, and it's honestly a place I am supposed to be my raw self, so here it goes. I have very low self-esteem. I didn't think I could do anything that I've ever achieved. I didn't think I could create any paintings that I painted. I didn't think I could learn any languages. I never imagined even speaking English. I never even imagined speaking my first language that well, that I did it. Um, you you may surprise yourself. I often do. You don't necessarily have to be super talented because that's what you gain through a process of life. I like imagining life as a factory because you're an industry, babe. Last one thing, um, it should be imperfect. That's what I learned through years. I always talk like I'm some wise old man. This is ridiculous. Anyways, you have to expect something imperfect. You shouldn't imagine things to go smoothly because uh, that's what we do when we visualize, when we manifest things, and that's just investing in disappointment because you imagine a process of winning, but you have to imagine a process of losing 7 times out of 10. Things going very rough. You have to imagine not being so great. You have to imagine. Um, you get the point. Yeah, it's no motivation coach tells you that. No YouTube Shorts video ever tells you that. There's a girl I like. She posts about gym videos. She says something like that sometimes. People rarely do that. Um, I'm doing it now for you. So what? I wasted 9 days out of 10 I had to prepare for this exam. I'm gonna prepare last day and I'm still gonna pass. I did a lot of things I shouldn't have. Well, I'm a lame ass person. So what? I can still do great. I might not be inspirational. I might do the bare minimum. Like, still do it. Still do it. And also, you're supposed to be very scared. Not you're supposed to be, but like the chances are you're gonna be very scared. You're gonna be very insecure, and that's just a part of it. And it's very very natural. It's supposed to be there. It's supposed to feel wrong too. Like, I mean, fuck your feelings. That's very paradoxal, but because you do everything to feel good, so feelings are important. Feelings are the only thing that pushes you towards something. And what makes me different from a goat? Why doesn't a goat prepare for university? Why doesn't a goat dreams of being in a different city and I do? Why? Because I have feelings. I have more feeling than a goat. It's not even about the potential. The potential is born from desire, kind of. It's never really there if you're never to put it in words. So that's why I hate complaining and whining about having a potential, wasting a potential. Who cares? It's not really there. Like, it's a lie. You're telling yourself a lie. If I wanted to, I could have. Fuck that. Yeah, you could have, then do it. Who cares? Who cares about your potential? Maybe a goat has a potential to become a whale, but we don't know that. Like, evolution is also interesting and it can surprise you very often. Like, there's a lot of things that depend on wanting. Wanting things and deciding things changes a lot, and you need to see it. No matter how unlikely it seems, no matter how sure you are, you still have to try what wanting could change.